What's up, Internet world? Matthew here for Brain Droppings number 9. It is Monday, April 10th, 2017. I am at the lovely Smith Point Marina. I got the bridge to one of our many famous barrier islands and beaches back there. I got a salt marsh behind me, some dredging pipes. We're still cleaning up after sanding. But it was a gorgeous day. I was actually just got done with my first professional photo shoot with the lovely and talented John Sheehan, a very funny and charming young man. He's a friend of mine. He's helped me out doing some promo pics for my other channel, Monster Health and Fitness. So we actually did an interview, and that's going to be up on the other channel probably next week, the week after. I got some other things lined up. But it was great because, you know, working with him and seeing the pictures and seeing how good some of them were really coming out, and it was just building my confidence, you know, as I was doing it. And I realized, and we were talking about this, is that when somebody's going through a physically transformative journey, whether you're losing weight or building muscle, whatever you're doing for yourself, it's great to get a photo set done professionally. You know, we live in this age of digital media, everyone's taking pictures, but to have real pictures done and to have a photographer actually draw things out of you that you didn't know were there maybe, or just really get that monster out, you know, get that confidence going. Can't put a price on that. So when that video's up, go check it out. We talk about all that. Right now, I wanted to talk to everybody here about something I had touched on in my interview with Marissa, both on this channel and on hers. A little phrase I borrowed from the U.S. Marine Corps, embrace the suck. Actually, I think I'm paraphrasing. I think they call it loving the suck. Love the suck. I use that terminology because we were talking about addiction on her channel and why so many artistic, eccentric, creative people tend to be addicts of one form or another. And I said I think it had to come down to the fact that we've got a lot of tender hearts, overactive heads, and then it's just too much. You know, at some point we start retreating, you know, into a bottle, into a needle, into people's beds, whatever it is that, you know, gets us that neurotransmitter high that we so richly desire. But, you know, she said, you know, there's a romanticism about it. I said, yeah, of course there is. I said, you know, you read the words of Ernest Hemingway and you think, oh my God, I'd love to party with this guy in Paris and, you know, it would be wonderful. But people often forget the recovery to that. Especially the next day when the floor is moving and you're figuring, I think I'd rather wet the bed than get up right now. But, you know, talking about that, it made me think about how the United States Marine Corps is the best fighting force in the history of the human race. And they are, and that is a fact, for one specific reason. They embrace the suck, the training, the fighting, the living on the ground and sleeping on rocks and going into training scenarios that would turn people's stomachs to think, this is the training? Well, of course the training's hard. Of course it is, because you want to come back. If you don't train hard, you will not be ready for the real world. And there's no cop-outs, no emotional overwhelm. You signed up for this stuff, Marine. You get in there, you embrace the suck. Now in life, we often get overwhelmed, especially for sensitive, creative people. We get overwhelmed, and there's a tendency to run. Now for me, I made a decision at some point to really let that inner warrior do his thing, to bring that monster out, to stop running, to embrace the suck, to know that everything I'm going through up here and in here, it's going to suck, it's going to hurt. I can't run away anymore. I want to improve myself. If you don't want to improve your life, fine, no one's judging you. Just do your own thing, you know? Keep drinking, keep screwing, keep injecting, keep whatever you're doing. But if you want to improve yourself, if you want to live the best life you can, if you're watching this channel, I hope you're in that category. Then you have to know it's going to hurt. It's going to be exhausting. I'm bringing all this up because something came up for me the other day that really highlighted how romantically inept I am. And I phrase that sentence that way because, our words are powerful. What we say about ourselves and about the world is, the world we create, the reality we create. And I don't want to say I am bad at relationships because that's creating that world. I don't want to improve myself. Well, the other day I just got smacked with how far I have to go still. And it was overwhelming. I wanted to crawl into a bottle, I'll be honest, but I did not. And my best friend really, she made sure she smacked me in the face with the reality. And I realized I had a lot further to go. But I didn't want to stay in my head. So I got out. And I ended up giving a mentally disabled guy a ride somewhere. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying. I did stuff for other people. Like I got out and I did the things I had to do for others in the real world. Did not stay in my brain for many reasons. It wasn't about distracting myself. But Gary Vaynerchuck did an interview with the father-son team from What's Inside. They cut things up. It's a massively successful channel, totally by accident, I guess you would say. But he ended up taking calls from people, and this one woman was saying, Gary, how do you stay so motivated? I have problems with motivation. And he says, no, you don't. You have a problem with gratitude. And he says, did you wake up in the United States? Yes. Are you a citizen here? Yes. You're doing better than most of the world. Do you have a smartphone? Do you have a car? Do you have a job? She's like, yes. He says, you have to look at what you have, not what you don't. And you have to look at and be grateful for where you are, not necessarily focus on so much on where you want to go and what you want to do. If you keep doing that, you're never going to get anywhere. You have to have goals, obviously. You have to know where you are and where you want to go. All that stuff's valid, but she was dwelling. And we all tend to do that a lot. So if I constantly just kept looking at where I need to go for myself as I develop to be up for a romantic relationship, I'm never going to get there. But so these thoughts were starting to spool in my head, and I got overwhelmed, so I just went to bed. And I woke up in a better mood, and I started doing other things. I got out of my head, like Dr. Mel Robbins said on her wonderful TED Talk. If you're inside your head, you're behind enemy lines. All right? Get out. And she also said something else that was interesting, kind of related to what Gary was talking about, and Tony Robbins and all these great motivational speakers. Gratitude's incredibly important, but she said something on an interview recently that motivation is garbage. She's a motivational speaker. She says motivation is garbage because the things you need to do, you will never feel like doing. Ever. Okay? Now, these Marines, they go into this training, they go into it because they wanted to be a better person. They just got up, signed the paperwork, went to boot camp, and they did their thing because that's what they wanted to do. Somebody else had to motivate them. And the more they got into that, the more they wanted it. The harder they got, the better they got. And you have to do the exact same thing. You can't wait for motivation to come. You can't wait for, you listen to all these guys, Les Brown, these women, Lisa Nichols and Mel Robbins. That external motivation is nice, but if all you're going to do is listen to motivational speakers, you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to really feel like it. You have to make the choice. You have to make the choice to embrace the suck. You have to make the choice to go through the hardship. You have to make a choice to feel the pain. And in the interview I did with Marissa, when she was talking about her eating disorder, and how at one point she had to make the decision to stop purging, and she used the phrase feeling the waves of emotion and anxiety wash over her. She made that choice to stop then and to feel that emotion. And of course she screwed up in her journey. She talked about that too. You're never going to get it all right. You're never going to feel perfect. I battle with depression all the time. And because of my condition, sometimes I'll feel great for a while and I'll feel crappy for a while. The importance is to feel, to know it's there, to not numb it, to face it, to go into it. Tack into the wind, tack into the crap, embrace the suck. If you want to improve your life, you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to make that choice, and you're going to have to stick to that decision, and you're going to have to change, and you're going to have to feel all the hardships, but you're not going to have to do it alone. You have friends, you have family, you have this channel. I would love to build a community through my social media for people to come to be able to support each other. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, share your heart, share your pain. Marissa's doing a wonderful job with her channel, and she's getting a lot of great comments and great feedback. She's already inspired one woman to go out and talk, and Misadventure, hello, and to share her journey as well. And I hope other people get up and do it. I hope we flood the market right now on social media. There's so much flash and pomp and circumstance and all this garbage out there. How about we flood social media with our personal stories of suck and what we're doing to overcome them? Share your screw-ups too. Don't share all your successes. I've been feeling depressed the past couple of days. I think I'm pulling myself out of it. I'm forcing myself out of it. I'm forcing myself through it because I'm never going to feel like it. You know what I feel like? I feel like going into my basement and sitting there and thinking all the worst thoughts about myself until I just don't want to move. But I refuse to let them come after me. All right? I'm tacking into it. I'm holding myself accountable. I'm standing here on a gorgeous day, getting some of that vitamin D under my skin and telling the whole world I feel like crap. But I'm not going to let myself stay that way. I'm embracing the suck. You need to do the same thing if you want to get anywhere in life. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Have yourself an amazing damn life. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. Be grateful for what you have. Motivate yourself. Embrace the suck. Talk to you later.